The space station was huge. It floated in the dark space like a metal city, spinning slowly around the yellow star. Ships came and went from its many docks. Some ships were long and thin like snakes. Others were round like balls. All of them carried different types of aliens from across the galaxy. Vexara walked through the main hall with heavy steps. Her red scales caught the light from the ceiling. She was tall, almost 8 feet, with 4 arms and 4 golden eyes. Her long tail dragged behind her on the metal floor. Other aliens moved out of her way when they saw her coming. She was famous. Everyone knew her name. She was the best hunter in the galaxy. The bounty board was in the center of the hall. It was a big wall made of blue light. Pictures and words floated in the air, showing jobs for hunters. Most of the jobs were boring. Find a lost ship, catch a thief, bring back a runaway alien. Vexara looked at each job with all 4 eyes. She had caught crystal ghosts that could walk through walls. She had hunted shadow cats that could become invisible. She had even killed a space whale the size of a moon. But now she wanted something more. Something impossible. She wanted to find a human still looking for fairy tales, said a voice behind her. Vexara turned around. It was Kexler, another hunter. He was blue and had 6 arms. His ship was fast, but he was not as good as Vexara. He was jealous of her success. Humans are not fairy tales, Vexara said. Her voice was deep and rough, like stones grinding together. Kex laughed. Right, and I suppose they can run for days without stopping. And they hunt dangerous animals for fun. Come on, Vexara, even you are not that foolish. Other aliens stopped to listen. They whispered to each other. Everyone had heard the stories about humans. The stories said they came from a blue world called Earth. They said humans were small and weak, but somehow very dangerous. I have seen the old records, Vexara said. There are ship logs that mention them, trade reports, even some video files. Old computer errors, Kexler said with a wave of his 6 arms. Bad translations. The galaxy is full of stories about monsters that do not exist. Vexara's 4 eyes narrowed. Then why has no one ever proved they do not exist? This made quite. It was a good question. In all the galaxy, with all the hunters and explorers, no one had ever gone to look for humans. They just said the stories were not true, because it would be a waste of time, Kexler finally said. But he did not sound sure anymore. Vexara turned back to the bounty board. She touched the screen with one clawed finger. New information appeared. She had been studying this for months. Old star maps, ancient trade routes, reports of strange signals from the edge of the galaxy. The clues all pointed to one place. A small area of space that most aliens ignored. It was far away and had nothing valuable. But the old records called it the Orion Arm. Even if they existed, said another voice. What would you do with one? Vexara looked over. It was Yathara, a female of her own species. She was smaller than Vexara but still dangerous. Her green scales were darker, and she had scars across her face from many battles. I would bring it back here, Vexara said. I would prove that humans are real. I would be the first hunter to catch one. And then what? Yathara asked. Put it in a cage. Sell it to the highest bidder. Vexara had not thought about that part. She only cared about the hunt, the challenge, the glory of catching something that everyone said was impossible to catch. The stories say they are smart, Yathara continued. Smart like us. Maybe smarter. What if they do not want to be caught? Everything fights back, Vexara said. That is what makes hunting fun. She called up more information on her personal screen. The data was expensive. She had paid black market dealers for old star charts. She had bought records from junked ships. She had even talked to crazy old aliens who claimed they had seen humans. Most of it was useless, but some pieces fit together like a puzzle. Radio signals from a system with a yellow star, chemical traces that meant life on a rocky planet, and most interesting metal objects moving through space in that area. Spaceships, look at this, Vexara said. She showed the others a fuzzy image on her screen. It was taken by a probe ship 3 years ago. The image showed something small and round flying near a gas giant. That could be anything, Kexler said. Space junk, an asteroid. Asteroids do not change direction, Vexara pointed out, and they do not send out radio signals. The image was not clear, but it was proof that something was out there, something that built machines and used them to fly through space. Even if you find them, Yathara said, the trip would take months. It is far beyond normal hunting territory. What if your ship breaks down? What if you run out of food? Vexara smiled. Her teeth were sharp and white. Then I will have died trying to do something no one else dared to do. This was why she was the best hunter. She was not afraid of risks. She was not afraid of the unknown. While other hunters stayed close to safe areas, she went to places where anything could happen. She walked to the trader section of the station. Here, aliens sold information, weapons, and supplies. The air smelled like oil and metal. Strange music played from hidden speakers. I need supplies for a long journey, she told the trader. He was a blob-like creature with many eyes on stalks. How long? The trader asked. 6 months, maybe more. The trader's eyes wiggled with surprise. That is a very long trip. Most hunters stay close to home. I am not most hunters. She bought extra fuel cells for her ship. She bought food that would not spoil. She bought medical supplies and repair tools. The trader asked many questions, but she did not tell him where she was going. One more thing, she said. I need a translation computer, something that can handle new languages. Planning to make first contact, the trader asked with a laugh. Maybe. The translation computer was expensive. It could learn new languages by listening to them. It could also break down complex ideas into simple words. If she found humans, she would need to talk to them. Back at her ship, Vexara loaded all the supplies. Her ship was long and black, built for speed and stealth. It had powerful engines and strong weapons. The inside was small but had everything she needed for long hunts. She sat in the pilot's seat and looked at the star map one more time. The journey would take her far from known space. Far from help if something went wrong, but that was what made it exciting. Other hunters caught escaped prisoners and found lost cargo. She was going to catch a myth. She was going to prove that the greatest hunters did not just find what others had lost. They found what others said did not exist. Her 4 hands moved over the controls. The engine started with a deep rumble. The ship lifted away from the station and turned toward empty space. Computer, set course for the Orion Arm, she said. Warning, the computer replied. That destination is beyond charted space. Journey time will be 3 months and 4 days. Recommend carrying extra supplies. I have supplies. Begin the jump. The stars outside became lines of light. Then they vanished. As her ship entered hyperspace, she was alone now, traveling faster than light toward a place that might be empty. But Vexara was not worried. She was excited. Somewhere ahead was the greatest hunt of her life. Somewhere in the dark was proof that the most dangerous prey in the galaxy was real. She was going to find the humans, and when she did, the whole galaxy would know her name. 3 months later, Vexara's ship dropped out of hyperspace near a giant gas planet. Her 4 eyes went wide with shock. Her sensors were going crazy with signals. The humans were real. Right there, floating in space near the big planet, was a metal station. It was small compared to the galactic stations she knew, but it was clearly built by intelligent beings. Lights blinked on its surface. Radio signals came from it in organized patterns. Computer scanned that structure, she said. Her voice was excited. Scanning complete. The structure contains life forms. Analysis shows they match the theoretical biology for creatures called humans in the database. Vexara's heart beat faster. After months of travel, after years of planning, she had found them. The fairy tales were real. She was about to become the most famous hunter in the galaxy inside the space station. Dr. Kim Tae-ho was looking at his computer screen. He was a tall man with black hair and kind eyes. He wore a white coat covered with pockets full of tools. He had been studying the atmosphere of the gas planet when his instruments detected something strange. So-young, come look at this, he called. Park So-young walked over from her workstation. She was shorter than Tae-ho but moved like a soldier. Her hair was tied back and her hands were stained with machine oil. She had been fixing a broken antenna when Tae-ho called. What is it? She asked. A ship just appeared out of nowhere. Look at these readings. Park So-young looked at the screen. The numbers made no sense. That's impossible. Nothing can move that fast. Something just did. They both stared at the data. The ship had traveled faster than light. Earth's scientists knew this was possible in theory, but they had never seen it happen. Should we call Earth? Park So-young asked. Not yet. Let's try to talk to them first. Dr. Kim Tae-ho turned on the radio and began broadcasting. He sent out mathematical signals, simple number patterns that any intelligent species would recognize. Pi, the golden ratio, prime numbers, universal concepts that meant the same thing everywhere. On her ship, Vexara heard the signals. She was surprised. Most species were afraid when they first saw her ship. They tried to hide or run away. These humans were trying to talk. Interesting, she said out loud. Computer, analyze their signals. The signals show mathematical knowledge. They are attempting communication. Vexara had learned many languages during her hunting career. She turned on her translation computer and sent a reply. Simple mathematical responses to show she understood. The conversation grew more complex. The humans sent information about their station, their planet, even their names. Dr. Kim Tae-ho and Park So-young introduced themselves. They asked who she was and where she came from. I am Vexara of the Scythic Empire, she replied. I am a hunter. You are my prey. There was a long silence. Then Dr. Kim replied, we would like to invite you to formal first contact procedures. Our planet has protocols for meeting new species. Vexara laughed. Her prey wanted to have a meeting. They wanted to make rules. This was not how hunting worked. I do not need your permission, she said. I need one of you to come with me. You will be proof that humans exist. We cannot do that. Park So-young's voice came over the radio. We must report to our government first. This is too important to decide quickly. Then I will take one of you anyway. Vexara fired her ship's weapons, not the deadly ones. She needed her prey alive. She shot nets made of energy and beams that would make them sleep. She expected the humans to panic and surrender. Instead, something amazing happened. The humans moved faster than they should have been able to move. Park So-young ran to the station's controls and started the engines. Dr. Kim Tae-ho jumped into the pilot seat of a small shuttle connected to the station. "What are you doing?" Vexara asked herself. She watched her sensors as the humans prepared to escape. The small shuttle separated from the station. Park So-young was piloting it. She flew straight toward a field of floating rocks near the gas planet. The rocks were huge, some as big as mountains. Any normal pilot would avoid them. Park So-young flew right into them. "She's going to crash," Vexara said. She followed in her larger ship, but she had to be careful. The rocks could damage her hull. Park So-young twisted and turned between the rocks at impossible speed. Her shuttle was small and could change direction quickly. But the speed she was going should have crushed her body. "Computer, calculate the G-forces on that shuttle," Vexara ordered. Current G-forces would be fatal to most known species. But Park So-young was still flying, still alive, still escaping. Dr. Kim Tae-ho was not just sitting in the shuttle. He was working on a computer, typing faster than seemed possible. Numbers flowed across his screen, calculations for hyperspace jumps. "He's doing math in his head," Vexara realized with shock. While being thrown around like that, most species needed powerful computers to calculate hyperspace coordinates. It was complex mathematics that took time and concentration. Dr. Kim was doing it while flying through a field of deadly rocks. Vexara tried to catch them with tractor beams, but the shuttle was too fast and too small. She tried to block their path, but they found ways around her that she had not thought of. Then the impossible happened again. The shuttle's engines started glowing with hyperspace energy. "They're going to jump," Vexara said. "But that's insane. You can't jump from inside a gravity field." The mathematics said it was impossible. The rocks and the gas planets created too much gravitational pull. A hyperspace jump should fail and destroy the ship. The shuttle vanished in a flash of light. Vexara stared at the empty space where it had been. Her prey had escaped. But more than that, they had done things that should have been impossible. She checked her sensors for any trace of the shuttle. There was nothing except a message beacon they had left behind. She collected it and played the recording. Dr. Kim Tae-ho's face appeared on her screen. He looked calm and friendly, not frightened at all. "Hello, Vexara," he said. "Thank you for the interesting conversation. We have reported your presence to our government. Earth's leaders would like to meet with you officially." Park So-young appeared next to him in the recording. "If you want to hunt us, you are welcome to try. But we should warn you, we'll be ready for you." The message ended with coordinates. The location of their home planet. Vexara sat in her pilot chair thinking. She had hunted across the galaxy. She had caught creatures that could walk through walls and become invisible. But she had never hunted anything like this. The humans had not run away in fear. They had tested her. They had shown her what they could do, and then they had invited her to come find them. "Computer, how did they survive those GFSPs?" asked. "Unknown. Their biology should not allow such endurance." "How did they calculate hyperspace coordinates so quickly?" "Unknown. The mathematics involved typically require specialized computers." "How did they jump from inside a gravity well?" "Unknown. Current physics models say it should be impossible." 3 unknowns, 3 impossible things, and they had done them all while staying calm and polite. Vexara looked at the coordinates they had given her. The third planet from a yellow star. A small blue world that seemed ordinary on her sensors. But nothing about these humans was ordinary. She had come here to catch prey. Instead, she had found something much more interesting. She had found a challenge. "Computer, set course for those coordinates. Warning, that planet appears to be heavily populated. Recommend caution." "Gid," Vexara said with a smile. "The more of them there are, the better the hunt will be." Her ship turned toward the small blue planet. She did not know that the humans were already preparing for her arrival. She did not know that what she thought would be a hunt was about to become something very different. She was about to learn what made humans so special. And she was about to find out that sometimes the prey hunts back. 2 weeks later, Vexara's ship entered the solar system of the blue planet called Earth. She expected to find a weak, primitive world. Instead, her sensors detected something that made her pause. The humans were waiting for her. Satellites tracked her ship as soon as she arrived. Radio signals filled the space around the planet, not random chatter, but organized communications. The humans had known she was coming and had prepared. A message came to her ship almost immediately. The face of an older human male appeared on her screen. He wore formal clothes and had gray hair. "Greetings, Vexara of the Scythic Empire," they said in her own language. "I am Ambassador Lee Hyeonwoo of the United Earth Government. We invite you to land at our diplomatic facilities for peaceful first contact." Vexara was surprised. They had learned her language in just 2 weeks. They knew her name and her species. These humans learned fast. "And if I refuse," she asked, "then you will be considered a hostile force acting against a sovereign world." Lee Hyeonwoo replied calmly. "We prefer peace, but we are prepared for other options." Vexara laughed. "You are threatening me. Your entire species is my prey." "Perhaps, but prey that fights back is more dangerous than prey that runs away." The transmission ended. Vexara stared at the screen. In all her years of hunting, no prey had ever threatened her back. Usually they begged for mercy or tried to hide. She ignored the diplomatic invitation and flew her ship toward the planet's surface. Her sensors showed mountains, forests, and oceans. She chose a mountain range that looked empty and wild, the perfect place for hunting. Her ship landed in a valley surrounded by tall peaks covered with trees. The air was clean and full of oxygen. The gravity was lighter than her home world. Everything seemed perfect for a hunt. Computer, scan for the 3 humans from the space station, she ordered, scanning. 3 life signs detected approximately 5 kilometers north. They appear to be in a temporary shelter. Vexera smiled. Dr. Kim Tae-ho, Park So-young, and the 3rd human she had detected earlier were here, waiting for her. They had come back to their home planet and were now hiding in these mountains, but they were not really hiding. They wanted her to find them. She gathered her hunting equipment. Energy nets to capture prey alive. Paralysis weapons to stop them from fighting. Tracking devices to follow them if they ran. Medical supplies to keep them healthy during transport. The hunt began at dawn. Vexera moved through the forest quietly despite her size. Her 4 arms carried different weapons. Her 4 eyes watched for any movement. Her keen hearing listened for sounds that did not belong. She found their campsite too easily. The humans had left obvious tracks and signs, but when she reached the spot, they were gone. A small device sat on a rock. When she approached, it activated. "Hello, Vexera." It was Dr. Kim Tae-ho's voice. "Welcome to Earth. We hope you enjoy your visit to our mountains. Where are you hiding?" Vexera called out, knowing they could hear her. "We're not hiding," came Park So-young's voice from a different device. "We're moving. Can you keep up?" The chase began. Vexera followed their trail through the forest. Her powerful legs carried her quickly over the ground. She was built for hunting, strong, fast, and tireless, or so she thought. The humans moved in a strange way. They did not run fast like most prey. Instead, they moved at a steady, medium speed. They jogged up hills and down valleys without stopping. They crossed streams and climbed rocks with easy movements. At first, Vexera thought this would be simple. Her burst of speed would let her catch them quickly. She ran hard for an hour, following their trail, but they stayed ahead of her. Always the same distance, never getting tired. After 2 hours of chasing, something strange happened. Vexera began to feel tired. Her breathing became heavy. Her legs ached. That this was impossible. She was a predator. Predators were built for hunting. They should not get tired before their prey. But the humans kept going at the same steady pace. "Computer," she said into her communication device. "Scan the humans ahead of me. Are they showing signs of fatigue?" "Negative. Heart rates are elevated but stable. No signs of exhaustion detected." Vexera pushed harder. She used her weapons to clear a path through thick bushes. She leaped over rocks and fallen trees. But every time she thought she was getting closer, the humans seemed to find another gear. Dr. Kim Tae-ho's voice came from another hidden speaker. "Interesting fact. Vexera humans evolved as persistent hunters. We didn't catch prey by being faster or stronger. We caught it by never stopping." "What does that mean?" Vexera panted. Park So-young's voice answered from a different direction. "It means we can run all day. Can you?" The first day of hunting ended with Vexera exhausted, and the humans still moving. She made camp in a cave, her pride wounded. She had never failed to catch prey on the first day. The second day was worse. The humans led her through muddy areas that made her heavy feet slip and slide. They crossed streams that washed away scent trails. They climbed steep rocks that favored their 2-legged movement over her 4-legged gait. And they kept talking to her. "Are you enjoying the scenery?" asked Choi Min-ho, the 3rd human. "These mountains are very beautiful this time of year." "Stop running and face me," Vexera roared. "We're not running," Dr. Kim replied calmly. "This is walking pace for us. Are you having trouble keeping up?" By the end of the second day, Vexera could barely move. Her scales were dull from sweat and exhaustion. Her equipment felt heavy on her back. She had to rest every few minutes. The humans had left her gifts along the trail. Clean water in containers, food that was safe for her to eat, even medicine for sore muscles. They were taking care of her while she hunted them. On the 3rd day, Vexera made a discovery that shook her to her core. She had lost weight. Her body was consuming itself to keep going. Her hands shook from exhaustion. The humans, meanwhile, seemed to be getting stronger. Their voices over the communication devices were cheerful and energetic. They sang songs as they traveled. They told jokes. "Fun fact," Dr. Kim said during one of their conversations, "human ancestors could chase animals for days across the African plains. The animals would run fast at first, then get tired and overheat. Humans would just keep coming, never stopping, until the prey collapsed from exhaustion." "Impossible," Vexera gasped. "Predators don't get tired before prey." "You're thinking about it wrong," Park So-young explained. "You're not the predator here. We are." This thought hit Vexera like a physical blow. She was not hunting the humans. They were hunting her. They were using her own hunting instincts against her, leading her deeper into the mountains, wearing her down step by step. "But I have weapons," she protested. "I have technology. And we have patience," Choi Min-ho replied. "How long can you keep this up?" How long before your equipment breaks down? How long before you make a mistake? Vexara looked at her gear. The constant moisture from the mountain streams had caused some of her devices to malfunction. The rough terrain had damaged others. She was losing her technological advantages one by one. On the morning of the fourth day, she could barely stand. Her forearms trembled as she tried to pick up her weapons. Her four eyes could not focus properly. Ahead of her, she could see smoke rising from a small fire. The humans were making breakfast. They were not even hiding anymore. Computer, whispered Analysis, who was winning this hunt. The computer's response was quiet but clear. Based on current physical condition and resource depletion, the probability of successful prey capture is less than 5%. For the first time in her hunting career, Vexara was losing. The prey had become the predator, and she had become something she had never been before. She had become the hunted. Vexara dragged herself up the mountain path, her forelegs shaking with each step. 3 days of chasing the humans had pushed her body beyond its limits. Her red scales had turned pale. Her breathing came in short gasps. Ahead of her, she could smell the smoke from their campfire. They were close now. So close she could hear them talking quietly to each other. She's almost here, Park Soyoung said. Her voice was calm, not tired at all. Her vital signs are very weak, Dr. Kim Tae-ho replied. We should be ready to help her if she collapses. Help me, Vexara whispered to herself. I am hunting you. But even as she said it, she knew it was not true anymore. The humans had been taking care of her during the entire chase. They left water when she was thirsty. They left food when she was hungry. They even left medicine when her muscles were sore. No prey had ever taken care of their redditor before. She stumbled into the clearing where they had made camp. All 3 humans were sitting around a small fire eating breakfast. They looked up when she appeared, but they did not run. They did not look scared. Good morning, Vexara, Dr. Kim said with a smile. You look terrible. Are you hungry? This simple question broke something in Vexara's mind. She had been hunting for 3 days. She had used all her strength and skill, and now her prey was offering to feed her. I don't understand, she said, sinking to the ground. What don't you understand? Asked Choi Minho, the 3rd human. He was smaller than the others, with quick eyes and gentle hands. You were supposed to be afraid of me. You are supposed to run. Park Soyoung stood up and walked over to her. Vexara tensed, ready to grab her, but the human just knelt down beside her. Why would we be afraid? Park Soyoung asked. You haven't tried to hurt us. You've been following us for 3 days, but you haven't used your deadly weapons. You've been hunting us with capture nets and sleep beams because I need you alive, Vexara said weakly. Exactly, you need us alive and healthy, so we made sure you stayed alive and healthy too. Dr. Kim handed her a container of water. The water was clean and cool. Vexara drank it gratefully. We know why you came here, he said. You want to prove that humans exist. You want to bring one of us back to your Galactic Council. Yes, Vexara said. That was my plan, and we want to meet your Galactic Council too, Choi Minho said. We want to join the galactic community. We want to trade and learn and make friends with other species. Vexara stared at them. Then why did you run? Why did you make me chase you? Because we needed to show you something first, Park Soyoung explained. We needed to show you what humans are really like. The stories your people tell about us are not complete. What do you mean? Dr. Kim sat down across from her. The stories say we are weak and small. They say we are just another animal species, but that's not true. You are small, Vexara said, looking at their thin bodies and soft skin. Yes, we are small, but we are also persistent. We don't give up ever. Park Soyoung smiled. Your people think strength comes from big muscles and sharp teeth, but our strength comes from something else. It comes from never stopping. I don't understand. Let me explain, Dr. Kim said. On our world, our ancestors were not the biggest or strongest animals. We could not run as fast as the deer we hunted. We could not fight as well as the lions that hunted us, but we had one advantage. What advantage? We could keep going when everything else had to stop. Choi Minho joined the conversation. Other animals run fast in short bursts, then they have to rest, but humans can run slowly for hours and hours. We can walk for days. We can work for weeks without stopping. That's impossible, Vexara said. Predators are supposed to be stronger than prey. You're still thinking like a traditional predator, Park Soyoung said. You think hunting means chasing something until you catch it. But humans hunt differently. We follow our prey until it gets tired. We don't need to be faster. We just need to be more stubborn. The chase you just experienced, Dr. Kim explained, was a demonstration. We showed you how humans really hunt, not with speed or strength, but with persistence and planning. Vexara thought about the last 3 days. The humans had not tried to escape. They had led her on a path of their choosing. They had controlled the entire hunt from the beginning. You were never running from me, she realized. No, Park Soyoung said. We were teaching you. Teaching me what? That the old rules don't apply to humans. We don't fit into your predator-prey categories. We are something new. Dr. Kim pulled out a small device and showed her a map. Look at this. This is the path we took through the mountains. We led you through terrain that favored our biology over yours. We crossed streams to confuse your scent tracking. We climbed rocks that were easier for 2 legs than 4 legs. But why? Why? Help me understand. Because, Choi Minho said, we want to be your allies, not your enemies. We want to work with the Galactic Council, not fight against it. But first we needed you to understand what you were dealing with. Vexara felt confused and ashamed. I came here to capture you, to prove you exist. And you succeeded, Park Soyoung said. You found us. You proved we exist, but you also learned something more important. What did I learn? You learned that humans are not just another species to be catalogued and studied. We are partners. We are equals. Dr. Kim handed her more food. Your people have been exploring the galaxy for thousands of years. You have incredible technology and powerful weapons, but you have never met a species quite like us. What makes you so different? Most species develop either intelligence or physical strength, Choi Minho explained. But humans developed both intelligence and endurance. We can think our way out of problems, and we can outlast any challenge. Plus, Park Soyoung added, we work together. We cooperate. We share resources and knowledge. That's why we took care of you during the hunt. It's what humans do. Vexpa looked around at the 3 humans. They were small and weak-looking, but they had defeated her completely. They had turned her own hunt against her, and then they had taken care of her when she was exhausted. I still don't understand, she said. If you are so capable, why did you let me come here? Why didn't you just refuse to meet me? Because, Dr. Kim said, we wanted to make a good first impression. We wanted to show the Galactic Council that humans are worth knowing. And we thought, Park Soyoung added, that the best way to do that was to let their best hunter experience what we can do. You planned all of this. From the moment we detected your ship, Choi Minho confirmed, we've been preparing for first contact for decades. We knew someone would come looking for us eventually. Vexara felt her world changing. Everything she thought she knew about hunting, about predators and prey, about strength and weakness. What was wrong? What happens now? She asked. Now, Dr. Kim said, we go back to your ship together. We contact the Galactic Council together. And we introduce humanity to the galaxy as equals, not as prey. And what about my reputation? I am supposed to be the greatest hunter in the galaxy. Park Soyoung smiled. You are still the greatest hunter. You're just the first hunter to catch something that wanted to be caught for the first time in days. Vexara felt her strength returning. Not physical strength, but something deeper. Understanding, respect, and maybe, for the first time in her life, friendship. Will you really come with me? She asked. All 3 of us, Dr. Kim said. We've been planning this trip for a long time. Vexara stood up slowly. Her legs were still weak, but her spirit was stronger than ever. She had come to Earth to capture prey. Instead, she had found something much more valuable. She had found the future. 6 months later, Vexara stood before the Galactic Council once again. But this time, she was not alone. Dr. Kim Tae-ho, Park Soyoung, and Choi Minho stood beside her on the great platform. They wore simple clothes from their home world, but they carried themselves with quiet confidence. Around them, thousands of aliens from across the galaxy watched in amazement that the humans were real. Council members, Vexara began, I present to you the species known as humans, from the planet Earth in the Orion Arm. The great hall buzzed with excited whispers. Representatives from hundreds of worlds leaned forward to get a better look. Some had traveled here just to see the mythical creatures that everyone had said were fairy tales. Kexler, the blue hunter who had mocked Vexara months ago, sat in the audience with his mouth hanging open. Yethera, the green-scaled huntress, watched with all 4 eyes wide. Impossible, someone shouted from the crowd. They look so small and weak. Dr. Kim stepped forward. We may look weak, he said in perfect galactic standard, but appearances can be deceiving. How did you learn our language so quickly? Asked Council Leader Zethma, a tall being with purple skin and no eyes. We are fast learners, Park Soyoung replied. We had a good teacher. She nodded toward Vexara. Tell us about your world, requested another council member. Choi Minho activated a holographic display. Images of Earth appeared in the air above them. Blue oceans, white clouds, green continents. Our planet is mostly water, he explained. We share it with millions of other species. We learned long ago that cooperation is better than conquest. What can you offer the Galactic Council? Asked Zethma. We offer friendship, Dr. Kim said. We offer our knowledge of science and medicine. We offer our willingness to help solve problems and explore new worlds. And what do you want in return? We want to learn, Park Soyoung said. We want to meet new species and discover new ideas. We want to be part of something bigger than ourselves. The council members talked among themselves in many different languages. Some seemed excited, others looked worried. These humans seem intelligent, one member said, but how do we know they can be trusted? How do we know they won't try to conquer us? Vexara stepped forward. If I may, Council Leader, speak Huntress. I spent months studying humans. I hunted them across their mountains. I tested their abilities and their intentions. She paused and looked at her human friends. They could have killed me easily. Instead, they took care of me. What do you mean? Humans are not conquerors, they are protectors. When I was exhausted from chasing them, they left me water and food. When my equipment broke, they helped me fix it. When I collapsed from tiredness, they carried me to safety." The council members murmured in surprise. This was not normal behavior for any species they knew. More importantly, Vexara continued, they are incredibly capable. They can endure hardships that would kill most of us. They can solve problems that would stump our best scientists, and they never give up. "Give us an example," Zethmer requested. Dr. Kim smiled. "Would you like to see a demonstration?" Before anyone could answer, he began calculating hyperspace coordinates in his head, speaking the numbers out loud. The mathematics were complex equations that normally required powerful computers. Park So-young joined in, solving engineering problems about faster-than-light travel. Her answers were faster and more accurate than the council's own computers. Choi Min-ho demonstrated human pattern recognition by identifying the home planets of different council members just by looking at their biological features. "Impressive," Zethmer admitted, "but intelligence is not enough. We need to know about your military capabilities." "We have weapons," Park So-young said honestly, "but we prefer not to use them." "Show us," demanded General Vorthak, the council's military advisor. Park So-young looked at her companions. They nodded. "Very well. Vexara, would you mind helping with another demonstration?" Vexara was confused but agreed. Park So-young whispered something to her, and the Huntress nodded. "Attack me," Park So-young said to Vexara. "Use your hunting weapons, try to capture me." The crowd gasped. No one fought in the council chambers. Was forbidden. "Are you certain?" Zethmer asked. "Perfectly certain." Vexara reluctantly drew her energy net launcher. She fired it at Park So-young from close range. Park So-young moved like liquid water. She twisted away from the net, rolled under a table, and came up behind Vex. In 3 seconds, she had disarmed the Huntress and pinned her to the ground. How Vexara gasped. 20 years of martial arts training, Park So-young said, helping her friend up, plus military experience, plus human reflexes. "But you moved so fast," "Not fast, efficient. We don't waste energy on unnecessary movements." The council chamber was completely silent. Then, slowly, applause began. It grew louder and louder until the entire hall was cheering. "Remarkable," Zethmer said. "Your species combines intelligence, endurance, and combat ability. Are all humans like this?" "These 3 are actually quite typical," Vexara said. "Most humans can do what they just demonstrated. All of them. Plus they work together in ways that other species don't. They share resources freely. They help each other solve problems. They never abandon their teammates." Choi Min-ho stepped forward. "We should mention that we're not perfect. We make mistakes like everyone else, but we learn from our mistakes and try to do better. We also have conflicts among ourselves sometimes," Dr. Kim added. "But we've learned that cooperation produces better results than fighting." "What about your military?" General Vorthak asked. "How many soldiers do you have?" "Every human is potentially a soldier," Park So-young said, "but most of us prefer to be scientists, teachers, engineers, doctors, and artists." "How many humans are there total?" "About 8 billion on our home planet," Choi Min-ho replied, "plus several million in our solar system." The number caused another wave of surprised whispers. Most advanced species had populations in the millions, not billions. 8 billion persistent hunters, Vexara said quietly. 8 billion individuals who never give up, who solve problems together, and who can outlast any challenge. The implication hit the council like a thunderbolt. If humans ever decided to spread across the galaxy, they would be unstoppable, not because they were warriors, but because they were survivors. "But you have no intention of conquest," Zethmer said. It was not quite a question, none at all, Dr. Kim said firmly. "We want to explore and learn. We want to help solve galactic problems. We want to make friends. What if other species try to conquer Earth? Then we would defend ourselves," Park So-young said simply. "But we would prefer to turn enemies into friends." "How?" "The same way we turned Vexara from a hunter into an ally, by showing them that cooperation works better than conflict." Vexara felt a warmth in her chest that she had never experienced before. Pride, but not the cold pride of a successful hunt. This was the warm pride of friendship and respect. "Council leader," she said, "I recommend that we accept humanity into the Galactic Council immediately. They are exactly what our galaxy needs." "What do they offer that other species do not?" "Hope," Vexara said. "They offer the hope that we can solve our problems if we work together. They offer the hope that intelligence and cooperation can overcome any challenge." The vote was unanimous. For the first time in galactic history, species was admitted to the Council on their first application. As the humans were sworn in as Earth's first galactic ambassadors, Vexara realized that her hunting career had led to its perfect conclusion. She had caught the most elusive prey in the galaxy. But more than that, she had found her own place in the universe. She was no longer just a hunter. She was a bridge between species, helping others understand what she had learned about humans later. As they celebrated in the station's diplomatic quarters, Dr. Kim raised a glass of earth water. "To Vexara," he said, "who taught us that first impressions can be wrong, and that friendship can come from the most unexpected places." "To humans," Vexara replied, who taught me that the greatest prey is the kind that chooses to be caught. They drank together, predator and prey, alien and human, hunter and friend. Outside the station's windows, ships from 100 worlds came and went. But now, among them, flew ships with blue and white markings, the colors of Earth. Humanity had joined the galaxy, and the galaxy would never be the same. The fairy tale had become reality, and reality, as it turned out, was more wonderful than any story ever told.